Terrence.
This bout is scheduled.
So they stare into each other's eyes one final time, touch gloves, and get prepared for battle.
Close the door, close the curtains. This is it. Let me enjoy my...
We have high hopes and aspirations for this fight. And just as quickly as the action slows down, it heats back up. A perfect counter shot. And he scores with the counter. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. And he just missed with that left jab. Solid punch. Well done with that counter shot. Perfect counter lands. So much pre-match drama before this showdown. Who could forget what we saw yesterday at the weigh-in? These two boxers are finally ready to get it on.
You have certain fighters that are born for this, that are made for the big crowd. And looking at that corner right there, that is that fighter right there. They have elevated, lifted, it's like they're not touching the ground. This is what they were born for.
Halfway through the round, and there's not a lot separating these two.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Caution being thrown to the wind. There's a counter shot. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about David Benavidez that last round. And a round that seemed like an eternity for them finally. Well, we've just taken a big breath, and here we go again. Coming off a very tough round. Let's see what they do here.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up, just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
They exchange punches. Fighter relies a lot on their instincts and reaction time. You've got to get in there quick to punch your opponent before he gets his fist back to block.
Go fight to the counter puncher, you've got to double a shot. Make them react from that, then react then. I know it's hard to think that way, but counter punchers, they're watching you every move, that every twitch.
Nice counter. Back and forth they go, neither fighter willing to back down.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. It's like a match made in heaven.
To be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Swing and a miss with the jab. How about that time counter shot? He blocks the jab. Nice counter shot. He misses with that jab. Punching. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Let's talk about David Benavidez in that last round. There's the bell to start round 3. Not the start that they wanted, but let's see what they can do in this round.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Nice counter counter punch right up the middle. Punch, counter punch. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. Just missed with that jab. Beautiful counter punch. Left uppercut doesn't score. That counter punch caught him clean. You gotta like what you're seeing as we reach the halfway point of this round.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Right when you think the pace will slow down, it picks up. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. He threw a punch and just got countered. Incredible work rate. Beautiful counter shot. That counter shot lands. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Let's talk about Benavidez that last round. Here we go to the fourth round. Safe to say that last round was a nightmare. Let's see if we can turn it around here.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on him. That's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until the senses have come back.
Good counter punch. He needs to be careful not to punch himself out. Miss with that jab. Stamina is so important for these two fighters because it allows them to use their skills throughout the match. It can all come down to who's in better shape.
What can they change? Can they slow the pace down? Can they hope to knock them out early? What can they do? They've got to concentrate and relax. Because you know what you can do in the gym, you can do it in the fight. They've got to relax.
This has been a very competitive round between these two.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Might want to think of holding on here for a minute. Just when you thought we'd see a lull in the action, here we go again. Catch and shoot. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about David Benavidez in that last round. Well, he is in big... Back into the fray here in round 5. So not the best round, but let's see if they can turn it around here.
Now he knows he's been hurt. He's going to come out and put the pressure on. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You've got to be ready for that. Don't fight fire with fire. Hold him off. Be smart because he's going to try and put you under pressure. He knows your legs are gone. He knows your head's not cleared. Be sharp.
What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
This is when you get in the ring feeling like you're King Kong because you know you've got a chin that is not going to get dented.
Swinging big and missing big with that hook. Nice counter shot. Is he going to punch himself out, though? Halfway through the round, and it's pretty much even Steven.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
thankful for that receipt. It's always coming. Someone tell these two that they can be defensive for a minute if they want to. You've got someone with the hand speed that this fighter possesses. How do you deal with it?
Let me explain to you about a fast fighter that's got hand speed and footwork. They're relaxed. They're confident. They know they just have to quick burst, boom. In a split second, they've let 4 shots go. Their footwork has got them out of the way. And these guys are so relaxed. And that's why they can maintain this.
You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Let's talk about David Benavidez that last round. The game plan. Let's start the 6. That corner has got to find a way to get some momentum behind their fighter.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on him. That's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
A straight right just misses. Believe what we're seeing. This fighter's certainly not going to outthrow their opponent by any means, but they will, when they hit, be a lot harder.
So one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident.
Fighters landing in these exchanges, judge is going to have a tough job.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Those counter punches have to hurt. Can't land that jab. Punch output. Thought there might be more action here. The winner of this surely will get a world title shot. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about David Benavidez. Here we go, it's round 7. Coming off that fantastic last round, let's see if he can keep his momentum going.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
The work rate is down. The head isn't moving as well, Johnny. Fatigue is starting to set in.
Middleweight always gives us a class. If you've got 2 class middleweight fighters, you are in for action. I'm quite sure right now, if you know your boxing, there's a certain fighter, Mr. I would just say marvelous, but some fighters were unbelievable middleweight.
Well, they're going deep into the gas tank on this round. Counter punch. A real good back and forth between these two fighters.
Perfectly matched. Skill for skill. Tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you. And so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
His stamina is off the charts. The only fear you have with this fighter is, has he punched himself out? Counter punching. Nice counter shot. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. talk about Benavidez that last round. You've heard? And we enter the 8th round. Not sure these two fighters can keep up the pace we saw last round, but you know they're going to try.
Exerted a lot of energy.
I think that will look even more dramatic in slow motion.
Where did that come from? What a shot.
1, 2, 3, 4. You still want to fight?
Whoa, wait a minute! Terrence Crawford just got rocked. A true champion knows how to get out of trouble after they got into trouble, and it appears the onslaught is over, at least for now.
What recovery skills they are. What a shot it was. Completely gone. I thought there's no way he's going to finish this round. But look at that. Look at the movement. Look at the speed. Back on it. Like it never happened.
You hear people talk about a boxer's chin. Do they have a good chin? Do they have a glass jaw? Those are questions that are being answered here tonight.
Because you've got a good chin doesn't mean you've got leather skin. It means you can still get caught. So you've got to go for those point areas over the eyebrow, the cheekbone. You've just got to try and cut them, skim and go for speed.
They got to pick things up halfway through the round here.
Not the best start, but you know what? The cornerman now is down for them doing their job. Get through the round, regroup, right, freshen up, boom. Different tactics.
He just misses with that jab. That hook was off target. As we enter the final 10 seconds here, it's probably a round he'd rather forget. Judges have spoken a unanimous decision victory.
Unanimous? You know what? Smart that is. A total change of styles to make sure they got it. At every round in the bag, there was no argument, no discussion, no mistake. It was so obvious.
Those enemies only can see my demise. Envision my downfall, it's not in my view. I only look up, I will not be subdued. Can never submit, position is grip. The mission persists like it's built out of bricks. In the gym I commit, knocking shit out of shit. Hit equipment till I lose the feel in my fists. Precision my gift. Decisions are swift. At home in the ring, it's like I live in this beat. And I'm undisputed.
Feeling like I got a brand new contract. Armed and dangerous and ready for comeback. Soon as I catch him on sight, it's contact. I get the job done proper, there's no comebacks. Life's not fair, people hoping on the balance. But either you got that magic or you haven't. And we were born and blessed with all this talent. Soon as we're given a task, it's overpowered, I'm fully prepared. Fully activated and ready. Focused on the target, grab my weapon, hold it steady, your name. You know that aim rain's heavy. Got the beast in me screaming out, let me out the cage. I ain't gotta do it with rage. The days are numbered, see my steps are calculate. On time, not a second hour late. Witnessing the mastery that we display like a hitman. Yeah. See, I go in and get the job done.
Here we are getting ready for this showdown between these two fighters. Should be a good one. I'm Todd Grisham. Alongside me, English fighting legend Johnny Nelson.
Looking forward to this one, Todd.
And now it's the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. He's got that aggressive style, so good with the power punchers. Sugar.
This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. Fighting out of the red corner.
These two have the time has finally arrived. These two men have been jawing at each other for months. The talking is finally over. Now it's time to fight. Oh, that jab's starting to mark him off. Well done with that counter shot. Beautiful counter shot. Back and forth they go. Jab slightly off target. Perfect counter shot. Nice counter. When you're fighting a counter puncher, you want to bait them in to throw first. Make them think you're going to throw a punch so that they exchange.
Counterpunch is my favorite kind of fighter. A good counterpuncher, they're the people that make the history of our sport.
We're at the halfway point of this round, and both of these fighters have had their moments. Still could go either way.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
They both want a knockout, you can tell. Swing and a miss with that hook. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Let's talk about David Benavidez in that last round. They got them over. Here we go, round 2. Who's going to land the first big shot? Coming off that great round, let's see if they can build on momentum here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
counterpunch. Which fighter will say no mas? When you're fighting a counterpuncher, the feint can be such a good weapon. Pretend you're going to punch, make the counterpuncher throw a punch, and then you counter them.
Todd, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to be on this. You've got to be on it. You've got to be a pro. You've got to think right. Concentrate.
Halfway through the round, and I don't know who's got the advantage. Great stuff.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
Good counter punching. He threw the hook, didn't land. That counter shot lands. You can tell who's stronger and who's faster. They're both trying for a knockout. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Let's talk about David Benavidez that last round. Here's the bell to start round 3. Coming off that fantastic last round, let's see if he can keep his momentum going.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Nice counter shot. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. We wanted action, and they are giving us action. Missed with that right uppercut. One moment changes everything, especially in this division. I can't believe we're only halfway through the round.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
They call it the chin. How strong is your chin? Do you have a glass chin? These are things that can affect the fight.
Don't get trigger happy, because all of a sudden you're going to be gassing yourself out trying to get that shot, and that's when they catch you.
Not a lot of defense here at all. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Let's talk about David Benavidez in that. On to the fourth we go. They've got all the momentum on their side after that last round. Let's see what they do here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. His stamina is off the charts. Good counter punch. Just when you thought we'd see a lull in the action, here we go again. One One of the best attributes to have in boxing has nothing to do with boxing. It's how well you can take a punch to the face.
Middleweights always gives us a class. If you've got two class middleweight fighters, you are in for action. I'm quite sure right now, if you know your boxing, there's a certain fighter, Mr. I would just say marvelous, but some fighters were unbelievable middleweight.
And he scores with the counter. The straight right just misses. Punch, counter punch. The straight right just misses. These two fighters are made for one another. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Benavidez that last round. On to the fifth we go. That round was complete domination. Let's see if we can shake things up here in this round.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
He threw a punch and just got countered. Power is obviously the great equalizer in boxing, but when you know your opponent is relying on that so heavily, how do you deal with it?
This could be really intimidating, Todd. If you know somebody's got the punch power, someone's got the speed, it can be intimidating. Just depends on how confident you are as a fighter.
Neither one of these fighters want to see the judges' scorecards. Those counter punches have to hurt. Back and forth they go in this round. The momentum continues to shift.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
That counter punch caught him clean. The straight right just misses. Cannot throw out a lazy jab in this fight. You'll get knocked out. Trying to land that jab. They are not going to let this one go to the judges. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about David Benavidez in that. There's the bell to start round 6. Last round, complete domination. Let's see what we have in store for us here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Nice counter shot. The old adage is, no matter how much speed you've got, timing beats speed.
I've never seen a fighter so fast in my life. How do you deal with this? You've got to hope they run out of steam.
Nice slip to avoid the jab. Nice counter punch right up the middle. What a round so far as we've reached the halfway point.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
Big swing and a miss with the hook. A perfect counter lands. How about that time counter shot? He misses with that jab. off-the-charts action from both of these fighters. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about David Benavidez that last round. There's the bell to start round 7. Well, there's no doubt about who won that last round. Let's see what he has for us here in the next one.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
As we enter the final frames of this bout, Johnny, what have we seen so far?
They know the second they touch you, it's done. They're that powerful.
When are we going to see a jab from these two? They exchange punches. Good punch. Good fight so far. Both of these fighters have had their moments.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
You've got someone with the hand speed that this fighter possesses. How do you deal with it?
When you have a fight that's got that great footwork and that great hand speed, it's so hard. It's an uphill battle.
Solid punch. Catch and shoot. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. There's a counter shot. Let's talk about Benavidez that last round. I promise you, all three. And we enter the 8th round. This fight has been very one-sided. What are we going to have in this round?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
This is the kind of fight you expect from two world-class elite middleweights. A straight right just misses. Nice counter punch. What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
Because you've got a good chin doesn't mean you've got leather skin. It means you can still get caught. So you've got to go for those pointed areas over the eyebrow, the cheekbone. You've just got to try and cut them, skin them, go for speed.
These two are the perfect dance partners.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Left hook doesn't find its target. That counter punch caught him clean. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. Robinson got buzzed there. He's in trouble. What a dominant performance, and it shows up on the judges' scorecards as a unanimous decision victory.
What a whitewash. You know, that's...
generals back in the building. Trust. Tell a man ease up. Getting my peas up, won't get a feel up. Is she in feeler? Food in the freezer. Them man try step with the heater. That's why my G's them roll with a squeezer. Expensive gas for the meter. Call me the teacher. True man I leading, call me a leader. Getting my peas up, won't get a feel up. Is she in